Imagine this. You step into your backyard, just like you do every morning, coffee in hand. A tiny bird flits to the feeder. It lands. It looks straight at you. For half a second you feel seen. Then it flies off. You shrug it off, right? Just another bird. But what if I told you that little bird already knows exactly who you are? Not just that you're the person who fills the feeder. It knows your face. It remembers the sound of your footsteps. It even remembers what you did last week when you scared it away from the bird bath. And it's not alone. Every single bird that visits your yard has been quietly building a file on you. Your neighbors, your dog, the delivery driver who always slams the gate. They remember, all of them. What you're about to hear is going to change the way you look at every flutter, every chirp, every quick glance from the branches. Because the birds in your backyard aren't just visiting. They're watching. They're remembering. And by the end of this, you'll realize one of them might already be deciding whether you're friend or threat. Stick with me. You're about to step into a secret world happening right outside your window. A few years back, I started noticing something strange in my own backyard. Every time I walked out, the same little bird, a black-capped chickadee no bigger than my thumb, would freeze on the branch and stare. Not at the feeder, at me. If I moved too quickly, it would give this sharp alarm call and the whole flock would vanish. But if I stood still and spoke softly, it would tilt its head, almost like it was deciding something. I thought I was imagining it. Until one day I wore a hat and sunglasses I'd never worn before. The chickadee took one look, sounded the alarm, and every bird in the yard scattered like I was a stranger. The next morning, same hat, same reaction. That's when I started digging, and what I found blew the whole thing wide open. These tiny birds don't just remember faces, they remember them for years. Yes, years. A single chickadee can recognize dozens of individual human faces and store that memory for its entire life. They pass this information to their flockmates too. One bad encounter with a person in a red jacket, and the whole neighborhood of birds will treat anyone wearing red like a threat for seasons to come. Here's the science. Researchers at the University of Washington, led by Professor John Marsluff, did something brilliant. They captured a few American crows, close cousins to our backyard chickadees in intelligence, and wore a specific mask while doing it. Years later, those crows and their offspring still screamed and dove at anyone wearing that exact same mask. They had never seen it again, yet the memory lived on. Chickadees do the exact same thing, just on a smaller, quieter scale. Their brains contain a remarkably large hippocampus for their body size, the part that handles spatial memory and facial recognition. It's packed with neurons that fire when they see a familiar face, almost like a tiny security camera system running 24/7. That is not a metaphor. Right now, as you sit there, the birds outside your window are updating their mental files on you. They know if you're the kind one who puts out sunflower seeds. They know if you're the one who let the cat out last Tuesday. And they never forget. But that was only the beginning. These tiny birds aren't just remembering faces. They're building entire social maps of your neighborhood. Chickadees can recognize and remember the faces of individual birds from other flocks, track who is dominant, who is trustworthy, and who stole food last season. They update these maps every single day. And here's what gets even wilder. They remember human voices too. That gentle tone you use when you talk to them at the feeder, they file it away. The frustrated sigh when you're late filling the seed, they remember that as well. One study showed chickadees reacting differently to the recorded voice of a person who had previously fed them versus a complete stranger. They're not reacting to movement, they're reacting to identity. Before we go deeper, you need to know one key thing about how birds actually think. Bird brains work nothing like we once believed. For decades, people called them bird brains as an insult. Turns out that was completely backwards. A bird's brain is incredibly dense. It packs more neurons into a small space than a mammal brain of the same size. Their forebrain, especially the nidopallium caudolateral, acts like our prefrontal cortex. It handles planning, decision-making, and complex memory. Chickadees have an enlarged hippocampus that grows and shrinks with the seasons, just like a muscle. In autumn, when they cache thousands of seeds, it expands dramatically to hold all those spatial memories. Then it shrinks again when they no longer need it. They also produce new neurons throughout their lives, something adult humans can only dream of. And they use specialized calls, each with its own meaning. A chickadee call with more D notes signals higher danger. They literally encode the level of threat in their language. Other songbirds, like the Clark's nutcracker, can remember the exact location of over 30,000 hidden food caches for up to 9 months. That's not instinct. That's sophisticated memory and problem solving. Try this in your own yard today. Stand near your feeder wearing the same clothes you usually wear. Talk softly. Then tomorrow, put on a completely different jacket or hat you rarely wear and stay quiet. Watch how the birds react differently. You'll see the recognition in real time. If you want to understand what your birds are really doing, thinking, and remembering, hit subscribe. No sponsorships, just the secret life of the birds in your backyard. Because what we've covered so far is impressive, but it's still only surface level. But here's where it gets deeply personal. Those tiny birds in your backyard aren't just remembering you as another human. They have formed an opinion about you. They know whether you are safe. They know whether you are predictable. And in some quiet way, they may even know whether you belong in their world. Think about that for a second. Every morning when you walk outside, you are not entering an empty yard. You are stepping into a living community that has been observing you for months, maybe years. That chickadee that lands 3 feet from your hand? It has decided you are trustworthy. The one that always stays high in the oak tree? It still hasn't forgiven you for the time you trimmed the branches last spring. This changes everything about how you see your backyard. It means the birds are not background noise. They are neighbors with memories sharper than most people you know. They track your schedule. They notice when your routine breaks. They even teach their young which humans to trust and which ones to avoid. That knowledge gets passed down, flock to flock, season after season. Imagine it. A whole underground network of feathered minds quietly cataloging every face on your street. Your kind elderly neighbor who scatters breadcrumbs? The birds have her marked as one of the good ones. The teenager who once threw a rock? They still remember his face years later. Professor Marsluff's team discovered that these memories can persist for more than 5 years in crows, and chickadees show the same long-term recognition. Their brains don't just store a photo. They store context, emotion, and consequence. Was this human calm or aggressive? Did they bring food or danger? That tiny brain weighs decisions the way we weigh whether to trust a new person in our lives. And the most mind-blowing part? They are watching you right now. While you're listening to this, one of them might be perched just outside your window, updating its file on you. You are not invisible in your own backyard. You are known. You are remembered. And that realization hits different when you step outside and meet their eyes. Suddenly, those quick glances feel like conversations. Those soft chirps feel like acknowledgments. But there is still one layer deeper. So what should you actually do with all of this today? Start simple. Go outside right after you finish this video. Wear the exact same jacket or shirt you usually wear when you feed the birds. Move slowly. Talk in that calm, low voice you already use. Fill the feeder or scatter some seeds while you're standing there. Then step back and just watch. You are not just feeding birds anymore. You are introducing yourself properly to a community that already knows your face. Consistency is everything. These birds thrive on routine. Fill your feeders at the same time each day if you can. They will learn your schedule and start waiting for you. Some people have chickadees that actually land on their hands after just a few weeks of steady, respectful feeding. Try the clothing test we mentioned earlier. One day dress normally. The next day wear something completely different, a bright color, a new hat, even sunglasses. Stay quiet and observe. You will see the difference in their body language instantly. That moment when recognition clicks in their eyes is something you will never forget. Plant for their memory. Add native trees and shrubs that produce seeds or berries they can cache. Chickadees love black oil sunflower seeds, but they also remember the exact spots where they hide food. A diverse yard becomes a richer library for their minds. Avoid sudden changes that feel threatening. Don't chase them. Don't let your cat roam free near the feeders. If you must trim branches, do it gradually and calmly. They notice disruption, and they talk about it. And here is my favorite tip. Sit quietly in the same spot every morning with a cup of coffee or tea. Bring no phone. Just sit. Let them get used to your stillness. Within days, you will notice certain individuals coming closer. They will start to treat your presence as part of the safe rhythm of the yard. You are not training wild animals. You are earning your place in their world. Do these things and something beautiful happens. The birds stop seeing you as background. They start seeing you as one of the reliable ones. That trust feels different. It feels personal. But there is still one final truth that pulls all of this together, and here is the final truth that changes everything. Those tiny birds remembering your face isn't just a clever trick of nature. It's an invitation. They have been watching you, yes, but they are also waiting to see if you will notice them back, waiting to see if you will become part of their living story instead of just another passing shadow. When you step into your backyard tomorrow and meet the eyes of that little chickadee, something ancient happens. For a brief moment, two minds, one large, one tiny, recognize each other. You are no longer just the feeder filler. You are a known presence in their world. And they, in their quiet, feathered way, have become known to you. This is the secret the backyard has been keeping. Life feels louder and faster every year. Yet right outside your door exists a community of minds that remember, that care about consistency, that pass down knowledge across generations. They live at a different speed, with sharper memories and clearer rules. And they have already made room for you in their story, if you choose to show up. So tomorrow morning, step outside, not to check your phone, not to rush through the day. Step outside and really see them. Say something soft. Move like someone who belongs. Watch how the yard slowly comes alive around you. Because the birds were never just visitors. They were neighbors all along. They were remembering you, hoping you would finally remember them too. If you want to understand what your birds are really doing, thinking, and remembering, hit subscribe. No sponsorships, just the secret life of the birds in your backyard. And the next time a tiny bird lands nearby and looks straight at you, smile. It already knows who you are. Now you know who it is. I'll see you out there.